Welcome everybody to Extreme Power No Handling, and today we're dealing with the 1972 Land Rover Series 3. Now this is a massive 1,356 horsepower from a 7.5 litre twin turbocharged V8 engine, which is a lot more power than it was ever dealing with originally, and yeah, this couldn't even really do 70 odd miles an hour really in stock form, so yeah, and it can now do 144 miles an hour. Now granted, that isn't anywhere near as powerful as it could be. I could have put in a sport transmission which would have taken it over 200, but even at 144 mile an hour I am not confident that this will be able to handle that speed as well as stop, because the brakes on this are pretty woeful. So yeah, obviously it does have the all-wheel drive system on its side in terms of being able to handle the power and the rain and whatever else we're going to be dealing with, but yeah, it's by no means a good handling car. Might well have been in its stock form with the few horsepower that it had, but now with all of this power, yeah, it's really not that great. So yeah, as you can see by the stats, 1.9 handling and only 2.0 braking. Launch, acceleration and speed are fine, but yeah, it's by no means a good handling car. And yeah, you add on to that 1,021 pounds-feet of torque, and the fact it's hardly a lightweight at 3,268 pounds, and yeah, we're definitely going to have a handful on our hands here. So yeah, let's see if we can deal with not just the extra power but all of this rain in the process. So we're going to be bouncing off the rev limiter for a little bit. You give it a enough room and a long enough straight and it will eventually start to pick up, but yeah, oh dear, lots of understeer. This is a much larger engine up front as well. And as you can see by those skinny tyres at the rear, how the body roll we've got, this is not a car that's meant for speed at all. It's meant for trundling along off-road courses or whatever at 20-30 mile an hour, not dealing with anywhere near 100 miles an hour speeds. This is well and truly out of its comfort zone. Brake. There we go, just about. Slide it around corners, it just seems to be able to hang on in there just about. The drive system definitely helping in this. If this was only rear-wheel drive, then would stand a chance, but at least the all-wheel drive system is splitting the power across all four wheels rather than just the rears. As you can see, it's not really gonna harm this car's time not having a new gearbox in it. We're just about hit the top of the speed limit there, and even then we had a few more miles an hour, so yeah, wise enough choice to keep this gearbox in. Although obviously one extra gear would have helped rein in some of the power a little bit, but we wouldn't be guaranteed to be getting up to that 5th, maybe even 6th gear, so yeah, acceleration wise now we can do 0 to 16 4.912 seconds. And 0 to 100 in 6.733 seconds, so definitely a quick car in a straight line, but it's just about trying to keep that power down, which when you've got those extra skinny tyres and which didn't have the best amount of on-road tread as it was, is very difficult. And you combine that we combine the nose tyres with the suspension, which is meant for more fun off-roading than being a good handling car. You've got a recipe of a disaster in terms of handling when dealing with all this extra power. Also, I hope that the suspension is obviously quite soft and pliable to deal with the off-road conditions that we've been dealing with. So yeah, but still 1 minute 26.837 seconds is far from the slowest car that we've had on this series by any means. So despite all of this car's issues and the fact that it's really struggling to drive around, it really does feel like we're on ice a lot of the time. It's still not a slow car by any means in comparison to some vehicles that we have. Again, I think it's the all-wheel drive system helping us get out of corners and keep that power down. Obviously we struggle to keep the power down through the corners, and really struggling with understeer at times, but once we are out of those corners we can just floor it, and the all-wheel drive system does help things for the most part out. Yeah, the lack of brakes is also not helpful because it means we have to brake way before the corner. Just have any hope of getting around it in one piece. Can we improve on this third and final lap? Oh dear, no, we're having to crash into the walls to be able to get around the corner. Might have well have gotten a faster time there on the third and final lap. Just wait and find out. Come on. Yes, we did. Not by a huge amount, by about 0.4 of a second, but still we did improve on that third and final lap. So yeah, 1 minute 26.420 is our final lap time, which granted is about 12 seconds slower than the Aero Nomad in the previous episode, but yeah, like I said, it's far from the slowest car that we've had on this series, with the likes of, where are we at? The AMC Gremlin X being slower than this. The Toyota Sports 800 was also slower than this, not by a huge margin, by only just over 0.2 of a second. Oh no, that was 1 minute 24.651, I misread that, so yeah. That was quicker than us by a couple of seconds or so, but that was a far lighter, far more nimbler car, while dealing with less in the way of power as well, so I guess that's a real surprise. We are quicker than the Austin Healey Sprite though, as well as the BMW iSetta 300, and just about quicker than the Hummer H1 Alpha by 0.1 of a second or so. So yeah, far from the slowest car that we've had, like I said, but given the amount of power it's got and the all-wheel drive system, you would expect it to be better, but with those skinny tyres, the really soft suspension, the massive amounts of understeer at times, yeah, it was just all over the place in terms of being able to handle itself, especially when you consider it's got the wet tarmac to deal with as well, which, yeah, at times did feel like driving on ice. But still, far from the slowest, like I said, and yeah, at least when it was in a straight line, it was properly quick, but yeah, that's pretty much all that he was going for it, quite frankly. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.